Good morning, good morning. Happy birthday to you. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, because every day is your birthday if you want to choose to celebrate life, and we should all celebrate life every single day, especially when we wake up and find the sun is shining on our faces, even if it is coming through the branches of the tree and making me look like I'm very weird in the camera here. Anyway, I thought I'd do this because it was kind of fun. This is the place I was in yesterday, and obviously the sunshine is just coming through the trees at just the right angle to light up my face, but unfortunately there are branches behind the camera, as you saw yesterday if you had a look at them. Yay, there you go, there's the sunshine coming straight through the branches that I had my camera set up against. Anyway, happy birthday to you. I'm obviously going to have to go and walk somewhere else because that's never going to work and never going to look good, but I've got this, I love this thing going on here. Anyway, happy birthday to you, even if it's not your real birthday. It's the day after my 1 year anniversary, of course. Happy day after Star Wars Day, if you like. Anyway, yes, so we have some people whose real happy birthdays it is today, only one of which I know where I know them from. Happy birthday to Paul, MJ and Steve. Happy birthday to all of you guys. Yes, this is going to be fun because I've got to try and find somewhere else to put the camera now, haven't I? Well, maybe I just have to walk with it. This is where I normally sat to do my my podcast when I used to record my podcasts. Sitting on this truck, this trunk rather. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, happy birthdays. Happy birthdays. Let's do it. Let's do it like this. Let's put this down like this. We're going to do this. Happy birthday. Oh no, that's the end of the thing I normally do this, isn't it? When I'm doing the happy birthdays, it's the counting thing that I normally do. Well, that's quite a cool view though, isn't it? Isn't that a cool view? Nice. There we go. Lovely. What's the one thing you're going to get done today? Blow it out. Or in the next hour if you're doing this every hour. And then put the hand on your heart. That's the one. Put this hand on your heart. While you breathe in for 5 through your nose. Maybe I should do that. Breathe in 5 through your nose. Put the hand on the heart. And then hold for 5. While you light the candles on your left hand. And then blow out the candles. So when you're holding your breath, that oxygen is exchanging with the carbon dioxide in your blood, and allowing that oxygen to then get into your brain and help you make better decisions, better thought processes. If you're struggling with anxiety or panic attacks, do that 5 times in a row. It's a little bit like blowing into the paper bag that a lot of people talk about doing. It's the same effect of doing that. And if you want to extend that exercise one step further, instead of doing 5, 5, 5, hold for 5, breathe in for 6, hold for 7, breathe out for 8, hold for 5, breathe in for 6, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. You will get dizzy if you do that one, by the way. So make sure you're sitting down or holding onto a surface of some kind, so that you don't pass out. Because the extra rush of oxygen you get to the brain can be quite intense with the 5, 6, 7, 8 breathing technique that I just talked about there. Good morning, viewer, whoever you are. It's nice to see you on here. Whoever you are. Exactly. I can't tell who you are just yet. Anyway, good. Happy birthday to everybody. Right, we're going to talk about where are you heading today. I should have started off with that, shouldn't I? Yes, I should have done. Never mind. Should. I chose not to. I chose to do the happy birthdays first, didn't I? Clearly. I'm not sure I actually did choose, really, but that's the most important thing. So looking at... hello, Varia, by the way. You can see your messages popping up on my screen while I'm recording this. I can see you're going to work in 30 minutes. There you go. Now you have a little mention on my daily live, and I will link to this into my replies a little bit later on. So where are you heading? This is back to my Camino story a little bit slightly, but also a little bit of the Matthew McConaughey interview we had the other day, and also the Evan Carmichael's top 10 today. Good morning, Kylie. I haven't spoken to you in ages. We need to catch up, don't we? And also the Sadhguru Ent-spresso from today as well. That's also kind of cool. And actually the book of the day is quite interesting today because it is called Resurrecting Sex or something. I'm not quite sure what it's called actually. Anyway, you can see the link in the description. It's kind of a fun thing. It's all about if you're having problems with in your relationships with sex in any shape or form, It's got some super good tips as to how to overcome that. Working with your partner, of course, and understanding how things work and what your destination is. So when we talk about destination, that's an element of that in there as well. It's like, where is your destination? What is it you're trying to achieve from that interrelations and so forth. So that should be kind of fun. Anyway, so the general thrust of this is back to the Camino thing, which is you have to set a destination in your life. You have to know where you're going to, where you're heading for. And somebody asked me this the other day, and they said, can you be productive without setting a goal? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course you can, but where are you going to end up? What's the thing that what is the goal you're trying to achieve? Because you can be productive with all sorts of things, but not actually go anywhere. And somebody said this on one of the videos I've seen recently. It said, if you set no destination, that's exactly where you'll end up. No destination. If you don't know where you're going, that's where you're going to end up. You're going to end up somewhere that you don't know where you're going. Now, there are circumstances where that is perfectly fine. You just say, right, let's just go and have some fun and see where life takes us. And that's absolutely fine. And to a certain extent, trying, especially when you're younger, just trying things and seeing what happens, see what floats your boat, what gets you excited. Because if you don't know what you're enjoying, it's kind of hard to set that destination goal, isn't it? So yeah, so just play, just have fun, be playful, try lots of things. Don't be too scared of things, because then you won't get anywhere, of course. You won't move, and that's where that anxiety comes from. But yeah, just have a lot of fun. And then once you've figured out where you want to go and you've set your goal, be serious for a little bit. Figure out where that goal is, that destination is you want to get to. And then, as Matthew McConaughey says, I can't get his name right, McConaughey says, set your destination, like in a sailboat, set your sails so that you're going in that direction, and then just have fun. Because if you've ever been sailing, by the way, it's quite a funny thing. You half expect sailing to be like this really, if you've ever watched like what is it? Well, like racing, sail racing, for example. But like the big boats, kind of what they're. Anyway, the point is, well, sometimes when you watch sailing, you'll see all the activity that happens when they turn, and as they turn regularly, you'll see them turn and turn and turn. And every time you see them turn, and obviously when you're watching it on TV, you're only really looking at the people who are turning, because that's the exciting part. But in between those turns, there's straight bits. And on the straight bits, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. I went racing, sail racing. I mean, not like serious stuff, but once a long time ago down in south of England. And it was hilarious, because you learn all this stuff doing all these jigs and turns and figuring out how to do the sails and stuff while you're learning. And then when you actually get into the race, you're like, you set your sail for the next buoy over there, or the next place you're going to tack or jibe or whatever it is. Can't remember what the words are. But then you just sit back and you just sort of sit around chatting, and you go, right, well, we're just waiting now until we get to the next point where we have to turn. And then it goes crazy, furious action for a second as you turn and you go back the other way, and then you just do nothing for like 3 or 4 minutes, sometimes 5-10 minutes doing nothing. Well, especially if the wind is low. Because you've set the sail to the wind perfectly, and it's just going fine, and you just and then you're going to turn, and then it's furious action while you flip the canvases round, and you do the things on the whatever, and you stick the whatever. I don't know, I can't remember what I was doing, but it was a long time ago. But there's furious action, and then you just sit and do nothing for a little while. So be playful, just have fun, have a chat. I think there were even times when we had a cup of tea during the race, because there was nothing to do. I mean, if you're going downwind, for example, the wind's behind you, and you're going downwind, and you're going like half a mile downwind, and you're going, I mean, because if the wind's not very strong, you're just literally sitting there waiting until you get to the point where you're going to turn. And that can sometimes be 10-15 minutes just doing nothing. It's amazing. Anyway, so yeah, just make sure you have lots of fun on the way. Be more child on the journey. So as Matthew would say, set your intentions, set your sails, and then just have fun on the way. You can go off route a little bit if you want to, but then yeah, you'll always see, because the law of attraction style thing, you've got off your ass. Remember yesterday we talked about Goya, and you're setting a direction, and you're going to go in that direction, and it's fantastic. So yeah, anyway, that's the thing there. Where are you heading? Are you heading in the right direction? Have you set your goal? Have you set your intentions? Have you set your sails? And then are you having fun along the way? Because that's the best way to do it. Right, now 2 other things on this that might help figure out where you're going to. this is on affirmations. This is something I didn't talk about yesterday. I posted a comment in yesterday's live about this, but it's switching your mindset from my life has always been like this, or I've always been doing this, particularly on habits. This is this is how life always is for me, and you need to switch that language around to say, so you're saying things like, I used to do this, or I used to be like this, but I am currently like this, or I am now like this, or I'm in the process of. So like, I used to be poor, but now I am in the process of becoming a millionaire. And then that suddenly your brain goes, well, this is possible. This is now right, because then you're having play along the way, and you're in the process of becoming a millionaire, for example. I used to be overweight, but now I am in the process of losing weight, or becoming my ideal weight, you could say. I used to not go out for runs, and now I go out for runs, even if it's just 100 yards, for example. I used to cry a lot. I am currently no longer crying. I'm currently not crying, for example. I don't know. These are just things I'm making up off the top of my head. You get the idea, though. You used to do something one way, and now you're in either doing it a new way, even if it's just a tiny little fraction of it. I didn't used to be able to do. I used to not be able to do press-ups. Now I can do press-ups. I can do 1 press-up. Okay, that's fine. I can do 10 press-ups. I can do 5 press-ups. Whatever. Anyway, so that's the idea. Turn your negative self-beliefs from the past into a positive self-belief for the future, or for the current. In fact, for the current rather than future, because it needs to be believable to you in the current moment. So therefore, that's why we come back to these small changes that you can implement straight away, that you can achieve straight away, and then prove to yourself that you can do it, and you can build up your self-confidence. That's what it's all about. Okay, and the last point before I hang up. I've seen a lot of people saying, if you could go back in time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say to them? And the problem with that statement, of course, is that's a past thing, isn't it? Again, you know what's happened to you since then, and it's a bit of a, well, that's no good, because I can't go back to my 18-year-old self, and I can't tell them what to do. So let's flip that round slightly and have a different viewpoint on that. If your 80-year-old self came back to you now obviously if you're 80, maybe the 90-year-old self, but you know, your 80-year-old self comes back to you right now, and tells you what you should be doing right now, or what you should, I don't like should, what you could be doing right now if you chose to. What would that person, he or she, say? What would your 80-year-old self come back and say to you if they could? Because that's much more realistic, isn't it? It's something you can actually tangibly do. You think forward to your 80-year-old self and you go, when I'm 80 and my life has carried on being the way that it is currently now, will I be disappointed in myself? Will I want to go back to my 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old self and tell them to do something more or something better with their lives, or leave that relationship or whatever that you're in currently right now that you don't want to be in, for example, the job you don't want to be in right now? If your 80-year-old self was to come back and say, you know that job you should have left, do it now. You know that job you left after 10 years of being miserable, do it now, because you really know what it is you should be doing, you should be choosing to do. And just imagine that that's your 70-year-old self or 80-year-old self coming back telling you what to make the decisions that you should be doing right now. Hello Jeff, good morning. I'm just wrapping up again. Sorry about this, you're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning bit of this soon. Anyway, that's all from me. Think about those things. Where are you going? Because that's your 80-year-old self. You're heading towards that 80-year-old self. Where's that direction? Have fun along the way, be more playful, be more children. Don't be too serious inside your own head, because then you're inside your head too much. You're not enjoying the world around you, the present, as much as you perhaps could do. Exactly. Right, good. Have a lovely Wednesday, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow. Depending on the sunshine, we'll be back in the place I was in yesterday. That's all from me. Take care. Love you all. Have fun. See you soon.